Hi everyone, and again welcome back to these short videos during this season of Lent on revival. We've been tag teaming over the last couple of days between the prophet Jonah, that Old Testament book, and stories from the Chinese revival. And yesterday we were thinking about Mama Kuang, that remarkable church leader who was there in 1949 when Mao Zedong came to power and China was declared a communist state. And she continued to lead churches throughout the period of Mao Zedong, that period that saw 6,000 missionaries expelled from China and churches, the vast majority of churches closed and Christians being imprisoned. And she was faithful throughout that season. It's estimated, Colin Whittaker estimates, that through the ministry of Mama Kuang, over 1 million Chinese men and women came to faith either directly through her preaching or through the cell churches that she established in her day. Eventually she had to flee and she ended up living in Japan for the rest of her life. She was imprisoned 3 times during her ministry in China, and I just want to read a little excerpt for you, again out of Colin Whittaker's book. This amazing woman was imprisoned on 3 occasions. The 3rd time she was imprisoned, Reginald Kiminoak reports she saw a vision. This was in April 1974. In the vision, she saw a great canal being dug. At first, it was difficult for the waters to get through, but then the flood waters poured through them. Mama Kuang said that Christians are God's canals. The time of the greatest trials are also the time the greatest revival occurred. I love that picture of God's people, you and I, being a canal. We're God's canals. We are the means by which God's power, grace and mercy flow. It makes me think of John 4, where Jesus and the Samaritan woman, and Jesus speaks about that truth, that when he comes into someone's life and the Holy Spirit fills that person, that we become springs of living water, canals of the Holy Spirit, if you like. We've been learning these things really over the last sort of 4 to 5 weeks, that when you look at historic revival, the Lord doesn't bypass people. Revivals generally happen through the Lord stirring ordinary people. In 1859, it was prayer. Hebridean revival was holiness. Here in China, it's people who remain faithful until the end, who endure incredible persecution that the Lord uses to see his kingdom established in a country, in this particular situation, through Mama Kuang in China. And I want to remind myself today, I want to remind you today, that you are that canal, that you are a spring of living water, that the Holy Spirit flows from you. And that the Lord wants to use you, wants to use me in impacting the places where he's planted us. So where are you planted today? Why don't you pray, wherever that might be? Why did you pray that the Holy Spirit would overflow from you and impact those around you? Be a canal today. Bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye.